So after you get the compound words between Mexico, Africa, means America, then you have Medo Kush. Medo Kush came from the land of Kush. We are in the land of Kush. This is the oldest part of the planet. And the pyramids were built here first in the world. The oldest pyramid is in Mexico. Then it goes from Mexico up and across. That's when the continent was one big landmass. Come on.
I was watching something yesterday on YouTube.
Yes.
About the pyramid in Crimea. Mm. They say one of the oldest that they haven't seen that is underground.
Underground. Yeah. Because we have tunnels.
Yeah, that's right.
Tunnels underneath Central America, the Joint Islands, and it goes up to Canada. Underground. Underground. Moors of commerce is underground too. But we got underground cities. Listen, you go to New York, General, go to New York, you got cities that have been over 10,000 years old underneath New York. Yes, sir. Yeah, it depends. Like Chicago, New York, Philly, and I think Detroit.
Detroit, I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, Brazil, what? Brazil is one of the major categories that Yaku did. And Argentina. That's wrong. That is the original Europe. People don't realize all the corporations is all in Central America. Why? That's where the Yaku experiment took place. Argentina is one of them. Argentina was known as the Patagonia. Hitler was going home. Going home. And they said, what Hitler? Is he from Germany? If he's not from Germany, where the hell he's from? He's going back home on the Yaku. They all know who the hell they are. They all know they're not from Germany. Because the Germans are Moors. That's your home too. Yeah, brother. Yeah. Well, he was also known by history as Amin Ra. He was also known as Jacob in the Bible. Yes, brother. Yeah, because basically that would help reduce the red species. If it wasn't for her, he would be successful. Because, matter of fact, the reason why Yaku was so successful was because of her, the Moabites. Because she was also a scientist. It was 13 of them. He had a group of scientists going down in South Mexico to make graphs of the red man 6,600 years ago. So some people say 15,000. I say 600. Because 600, you got also 200 years of peace of grafting the species together. That's 200 years 3 times, that's 600. Then an extra 6,000 years from to reproduce and stay here on the planet. And we had to teach them. And it was the last species to learn this science in 1789. George Washington. Yeah, matter of fact, even after that. Because during the medieval times, there were slaves of Europe, of the dukes and barons and the nobles of Europe, which are Moors. And matter of fact, King James, King Richard, King George III is one that sent them here. All the Slavics, all the murderers, the rapists, the crooks, you name it, thieves, cast them out of Europe. And one here in Virginia, which is the original England, known as Medina, ancient Medina, Virginia, Virgo, sent them here as slaves. And 1607 to 1617, the first 100 arrived from King James. Then in 1639, that's when they established the feudal codes, which is known as the Black Codes. And them Black Codes was basically putting them in a military order because they were barbaric, and we had to put them in line. And they were out of tune with nature. They were not nature people. And we all knew that were Yaku people. We had enslaved.
Brother,
yes.
sounds like you're talking about George Washington. I just always was for me, just curious about this. What's the cutting of the cherry tree?
It's called the, it was also known in history as the, Bunker Hill. It was known as Bunker Hill flag. The Bunker Hill flag is the,
Yeah, but the reason why he cut it down.
the Continental Congress. That was whoever takes down the nation flag becomes the ruler.
Yeah, but wasn't a gift for?
Not really. Wasn't a gift.
Was it like a treaty?
It was a treaty that was signed later on. That was during the Revolutionary War. That was during the Revolutionary War of 1774, where George Washington chopped down the cherry tree. It was the Moorish Moroccan flag and the Continental Congress Confederate flag.
Why did he cut it down? What's the reason for him cutting it down?
Freedom. If you had me as a slave, right, and I'm fighting for my freedom, and I got some other Moors that regulate me, because you have Moors that fought the Revolutionary War with Washington.
They say freedom, but we still live in bondage.
No, you don't understand, brother. We had them in bondage.
Nah,
we fell because we were fighting each other. That was the corruption of us.
Dirty tricks.
And we fell 1863.
63 or 60?
63. 62. No, it was actually 63 because that's when Abraham Lincoln, Africanus Eel, became the first Democratic president. Because before 1863, there was no such thing as democracy. It was all Republican. And that was Moorish. All of them. All of them. You had the Confederates, you had the British, you had the Indians, known as the Confederacy, you had the Conquistadors, you had the Romans, you had the Greeks. All that is old school history. Anything that's old world history, that's Moorish. Anything new world history, that's Slavic. They changed
it.
I
Understand that, but they keep trying to hide it like in the histories. Like
shit, let me tell you. I'm gonna be honest, brother. If I was Slavic and I knew you were you think I'll give you that? Come on. You got.
Yeah, but I keep thinking about it. We keep talking about peace and love, bro. Yeah.
No, peace and love among ourselves.
Yeah, understand that, but yeah, exactly.
Peace and love among ourselves. So that's one of the reasons. That was the first principle the prophet said. Love, true peace and justice. Exactly. I trip over that sometimes. Anyway, but I understand what you're saying, though. And that's one of the reasons why the prophet said, hey, we got to love each other first. Love is the first principle. And that's one of the reasons why the Lord's fell. Because you was using all kinds of sorcery on each other. All kind of crap, all kinds of stuff on each other. And matter of fact, let me give you a prime example. Anonymous. The movie Anonymous. You into poetry? Somewhat. Anonymous was based on the bloodline about Francis Bacon, but he was also known as Essex. And he was also known as Lord Brunel. But he was also the son of, what's his name? Huh?
Was it Peyton Randall?
No. Earl of Lancaster. He was an Earl. Earl means eel. If you take the AR between the letter A, the E, and the L, it's the title eel. He was eel. The eel of Lancaster, of the Earl of Lancaster. So he was all Moors. My point is that basically that a lot of them they went into marriage other kingdoms. Some kingdoms wasn't worth that intermarrying. And some got jealous when overthrown the king. So all this jealousy started from that too. How the lineage, a lot of us here are still descendant of that. Even the Moors over here, we are still descendant of that bloodline. If you from the Moors here and the Moors from Europe, Spain, we have two Spains now. Empire of Spain, California. Yeah. Empire of Spain, California. Yeah. The map was flipped over in 1865. It was redesigned. There was a lot of stuff they were doing. Then you had the Spain Kingdom of Europe because it was called Patmos. Patmos was named after the Queen Europa. She named that Europe after her because she had blood lineage over there too. Remember, we was a world empire. We had blood lineage all across both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. We were all family. But the problem is, some of us couldn't get along. And that's what brought the Civil War. Not just the Civil War, but wars before that. The Revolutionary War, you had the war between Bunker Hill, all that. All the ancient wars that was fought. That was us fighting each other. Yes, right.
1812 too.
1812, when they burned down to the so-called White House. It wasn't called the White House. It was called Casablanca.
I'm trying, like, I was looking at something, old newspaper, 1870.
Mm-hmm.
And it was September 12th, 1870. And they were talking about England and all these ships that, you know, crashed, you know, they sunk. But I started, it was September 11th that it happened, and they were writing about it the day after. And I'm like, well, if it's over there, how did they get the news so fast that they reported on
That's
it?
like you know that everything happened.
Yeah, but is that like the Mississippi? Was that the West Coast?
The Mississippi
They
is
said the East Coast.
this is the eastern seaboard. The eastern seaboard, yeah. The eastern seaboard, this is the thing. So I always tell people to study geography. They talk about the Western Hemisphere, West Africa, and all that. I said, well, West, as a person, where is the Western Hemisphere? The Western Hemisphere is here. It's always been the Western Hemisphere. When they talk about West Africa, North Africa, where they referring to when they say it?
Northwest Africa's here.
There you go. That's why the prophet said you are Moorish American. Because the name probably changed, but not the geographic. Now you get it? There you go. I know you get it. That's why we have to know geography. Once you know geography, you'll know what's east, what's west, north, south, you know where the sun rises, where it sets, and all that. That's what we were. We're scientists. Wars were scientists. We did everything by nature. Everything. Chemistry. Another term, chemistry. We deal with chemistry. We're master chemists, alchemists. That's all we did by nature. It's just that simple. But see, everything they talk about, if they talk about the Western powers, they talk about here. Because Asia Major, West Asia Major, West Mexico, Northwest Africa, Northwest America, they became the U.S. Northwest United States. See how things change? But the landmass still stay the same. The geography will always be the West. And they got you thinking somewhere else. And see, that was the master plan, to get you thinking somewhere else instead of thinking here. That's why the prophet came back and brought you who you were and what you were. Yeah, bro.
Besides the civil wars and stuff like that, what do you think is
Well, what happened, 1789, when we saw Washington, Washington was appointed because it was nobody like him in government anyway. He was the first Negro to join the Moorish government. And based on that, it was still a war between the bloodlines. And we were still having them as slaves in the South. But see how history twisted that they were talking about us in slavery. But in reality, it was them. Right, it was twisted. It was twisted. Every told me she was a Confederate soldier, but she became pro-North. Great Moses became what? She became the Union soldier. She joined them to free the Slavics from the South. What's his name? James Beckworth was a tracker. He was another Indian, another Moor, that used to track other Moors and kill them off. That's what Thanksgiving was about. That's the term turkey or the Turks.
That's
So you
right.
got a turkey with no head. They cut the heads off the Turks. Everything's symbolic of something. Because it happened. All the holidays mean something.
And there was not turning.
Not turning too. He was killing all the white folks. Who's the white folks? Isn't white the title of nobility? Doesn't matter. Nothing you can complain. It's a title of nobility. That's the Moors. The Moors, the title of the rulers. Means sovereignty, means God, means purity. It also means rule. Landlord too. Bey Lord. Sir Lord, Lord of the land. Sir Lord of the land. Bey means the bailiff, the protector, and also the ruler of the land. Yes, you have a question.
Did they offer them benefits or something, like a corporate job, but back in that day?
No. I'm gonna tell you something.
Like I'm saying.
Corporation. See, what happened to them, when they came here, the Sultan gave them 13 territories to set up businesses for them. And they had to pay a tax to the Moors here. That's one of the reasons why that, what's his name, all the nobles of Europe had sent them here as a gift to the Sultan. And the Sultan, 1787, Treaty of Friendship, was really amongst the Moors. But the Slavics, we just gave them a mandate for 50 years. 13 corporations with 13 plantations. It was really 13 Moorish bondavilles. And they had an agreement. The agreement is that you work, you set up your little towns that the Moors established. There was Moors in the 13 colonies running for mayor and sheriffs, and also deputies were Moors. And they was overseeing them. That's the history they ain't telling you about. So payment comes, the sheriff or the general or Basha, the Basha come and collect his taxes and give it to the Sultan. And if he don't get his finance, guess what? He take one of his daughters for payment. Or sometimes they kidnap them. That's what they do today. They know the history. They back as a bitch. That's common. That's all. But that's what we did to them during times Moors was at power here. So everything we do. Yeah. Remember, 1789, the first Masonic lodge was established by Prince Hall. Prince Hall was known as Prince Whipple Bey, which is George Washington's teacher. That's why you see in some of the history books, you always see the brother behind closed doors. You see the curtain, and sometimes you see him standing in the back. You see all these Slavics sitting in the front. He's the master, and they're the student. See, the paintings were designed for a reason. Anytime you see a brother in the background, he ain't the slave. He's the master. He's the master teacher. Taught the Slavics, man. Deep, man.
So they actually, yeah, I see what you're saying. Instead of them being the Moors in the front, instead of the Slavs being turned around where they're looking at him, they turned it around the other way. Yeah, that was real story.
Yeah, they have good teachers. We talk good. But that's all it is. It's our own karma kicking us in the butt. That's all it is, karma. You gotta realize that everything we taught them, they do it to us. That's karma today.
What goes around comes around.
That's right. We're Greek law.
It's not.
Can you elaborate on what the karma was about?
Creating them.
Creating them.
Right. Creating them and violating nature. Violating nature. And that's what Yaku did. So Yaku's children was creating chaos all around the planet. After they became empowered. They couldn't do that when we was in power. They had to wait till we fall. Once we fell, that's when they started doing all that BS. So now we paying for something that we did to them. That's all it is. Everybody said, white man is white man. I said, no, you created him. The devil, no, we created him. We created him. Elaborate. We are the devil. Stop playing. Stop blaming him. Blame yourself. You brought him here. You brought him here.
Where are the Slavic people at now? What are they called as Masons?
Muslim sons. Muslim sons. That's what they are. Because they can never be. We taught them at a knowledge that they can understand. Because simple fact, they didn't have melanin. They didn't have melanin. So we had to teach them in a way like religious terms that they understand. That was going back into what they call Muhammad. But Muhammad means Hammurabi Bey, the code of Ham. The code of Ham was the code of religion. And code of religion was the code of nature. That was the code of nature that we are teaching today at that time. And that's what religion means. Return, find, link. That's the nature. We couldn't teach him science. We couldn't comprehend. We had the melanin. We didn't have the genetic to do that. He's a third dimensional being. He only can go far as the third dimension. We are ninth dimension. We are ethereal beings. We go to the ethereal and come back at will. It's called celestial sleep. We call it sleep. But it's really astral projection. You know, we astral project, you can come back at will and remember it and master it. He can't do that. That's why he's going into satanic and all this and seances and all that. He gets attacked by the deity. He wants to be attacked. You can't go there. It's not a realm to go to.